Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I have the long-awaited Wallbreaker guide, which means we're starting off in a second with the complete basic, like how Wallbreakers work, and then we're going deeper and deeper on how those Wallbreakers can actually mess up your attack or actually being the most MVP troop in the entire game sometimes. So I'll explain you guys everything, and I guess we're starting off with normal wall breakers, and I would try to explain to you guys how they're actually working. Like, where are they going, why are they going there, and this is the completely basic start to wall breakers. So the first thing which you're looking for on bases is like a closed compartment where buildings are in there. Like, that's one of the important things as well. There need to be buildings in there. Like, for example, this compartment. It is closed. There are buildings in there, which means wall breakers will definitely be able to target this compartment. And then obviously we can take we can try the wall breakers from different angles, but they will always run to the next wall. But there's a difference. Like, let's go one step further. Okay, we have another compartment, but this time there's once again a building in there, but it's touching the wall really far on the right side. So what is happening if we place actually Wallbreaker at the bottom side of this compartment? And that's like the next lesson which you need to learn, and that's Wallbreakers will always target compartments where buildings in there, but they will target the compartment where the next building is touching a wall. If non-building is touching the wall, it will just like go to the kind of direction where the building is, but that's pretty important. The next thing is we have once again a closed compartment, but this time there are no buildings in that at all. And that's pretty important because as soon as there are no buildings in there, like this compartment won't get targeted. It's like there are a couple of cases where it might happen, but like 99% of the times this compartment is just invisible for those wall breakers. So what have we learned in the first couple of seconds? The first thing which you should always know is wall breakers target the next closed compartment with buildings in there. Where the building is touching the wall, this wall is going to be targeted. So wall breakers are not targeting the first or the next wall, they're targeting the next compartment. Obviously, there are there's more into that than just the compartment thing. So let's get into the next step, which is going to be kind of those L-shaped compartments or like those arrow things, which you see kind of often in pro play. The tricky thing with this is that you can't really predict where your wall breakers are going, because you see, they're not targeting the wall, they're going in behind. The reason for that is those two open wall compartments, or like those two parts where a wall's missing. So the problem with this is, as long as the compartment is not closed, it's kind of depending on the setup of this compartment if wall breakers can see this or not. On this one, this wall piece at the top side was way too short, so they just can't see the compartment. But what is happening if this wall piece is longer? And now I could obviously like tell you numbers and everything, but to be honest, those numbers do not matter too much because there's way more into that, and this is the part where this is getting really complicated, and most likely you guys will never really need that, but still I will try to explain it really briefly to you. Why is this so complicated? The reason why this is so complicated is because, first off, it kind of depends on the length of the wall if the wall break you can target is. The next thing is it kind of depends on the shape of that wall. If it's just a straight line, if it's just like this arrow thing or like an L, or if there's like this small, I don't know how to call it in English, but like those small zigzags, I don't know if that makes sense. But like the wall is not straight and it's not like an arrow or anything. That's the next thing which is important. The next thing which is important as well is which buildings are touching this wall in behind. Is this like a storage? Is this like a defense? Even those things matter sometimes. So there's so many more things which are going into this, which is really complicated. The next thing is, which you can see on your screen right now, sometimes wall breakers just go stupid. For example, if they can't find the next compartment which is closed, they would just go for the next wall. They're just like, YOLO, I'm out, I would just go for this wall. It's kind of tricky sometimes, especially if you want to charge really deep into the base, so you just should keep that in mind. Now we're getting like to a pro tip, which is as soon as you're facing one of those really annoying open bases, which means like they have those open compartments, You can do a small trick with the super wall breakers. Just get the wall breaker close to the wall and let it explode by just defenses around that. Tesla, enemy heroes, all those things can easily explode your wall breaker, and this makes sure that this wall piece is getting more open up and it's easier for you to charge in, to like get your Yetis in there. Either way. This is the next example. You guys see, let's charge in there. Let's charge into the single inferno tower. But it's quite risky because our queen might not step inside because she might go onto the for the wizard tower from the outside. And then it's kind of GG. So what we want to do is just open up the compartment a little bit more, and that's how we can easily do that. That's like kind of like a pro tip. I hope you guys are not too mad at me that I can't like tell you every single number when it comes down to those L-shaped compartments, everything. But I just wanted to let you know this is why this was in there in this strategy guide. But I think now, since everything so far was kind of like in theory, like we tried it in a couple of FCs, but let's do this now in the real attack. Let's figure out how those wall breakers are going to go. And for this, we're taking a look at a couple of legend attacks, and we're only taking a look at the opening, because that's the important part. We want to have this video all about being a Wallbreaker guide, not like a Queen Charge Lado guide, not a Queen Charge Hybrid guide. Whatsoever, it's a Queen Charge Wallbreaker guide. So this, I guess this setup is pretty common. And we have overall 3 Wallbreakers, and what we want to get into the core. How do we do that? First thing first, let's funnel the queen in. I mean, that's always the thing. I mean, you could have, if you have the perfect wall breaks, but you can't funnel your queen in there, it's still useless, right? So first things first, we got the first wall break. I think that wall break was pretty straightforward. I think there needs no more explanation about why exactly this wall got targeted, but I will still do it. It's just the next compartment with, it's just the next closed compartment with buildings in there. And since, yeah, the buildings were on the wall breaker is just going for the wall. That's it. Kind of straightforward. The next wall break is not going to be any more complicated than that. So we just have the next compartment, which is closed, and that's around the town hall. It's a closed ring, and the town hall's in there, which is a building. So the wall breaker is going to target it. So now we have already done 2 wall breaks. But now we want to get one further layer. Where is the wall break to go if we place it at the exact same tile? Do you guys know? Well, it's pretty simple. It's going to target the next compartment, which is closed, which is the sweeper compartment. But since there are those really strange 2 dead zones around it, or like there's nothing really standing in there, the wall breaker is not going to target the outside of this compartment, but it's going to target where the sweeper was touching the wall. And that's exactly where the wall break was happening. So far, so good. The entry worked perfectly. We got access to the enemy queen, to the enemy royal champion, to the enemy scatter shots, both of them, which means this should be a pretty easy Lalo after that. But like I said, that's not the story of this video. Let's jump right into the next attack. This one is going to be the next base which we want to attack. And this opener, let's do it a little more complicated. We want to get from 6 o'clock into the town hall compartment. Let's try that. So the first thing which we have to do kinda is to make the first compartment invisible to the wall breakers, which is this really long compartment from 6 to 3, like where the queen is starting at. So what we have to do is we have to somehow clear this compartment to make sure that our wall breakers don't see that anymore, because as soon as there are no buildings in there, my wall breakers will just completely ignore that compartment. Then the first wall break is kinda straightforward and pretty easy. Just wall break at the air defense, and that's kinda it. So as soon as I did that, I wall breaked into the air defense, and then the next closed compartment, which my wall breakers can see if I can start them from the bottom right, it's the Inferno Tower, because the right compartment is closed, or it's not closed, but it's like empty. So this means it's not existing anymore. The next compartment, if I would do the exact same thing again now, would be the bomb tower compartment. But since we're clearing that, which means it's once again empty as well, the left side and the right side of my queen is empty, so the wall breakers can only go for the enemy town compartment, and this is how you can easily get access to that. Obviously, you could have done that like with wall breaking into the dead zone, things like that, but that's like a little bit too far, I guess. So this is how you can easily get in there. Obviously, like this charge makes, to be honest, no sense because there's just way too much damage and my queen is going to die. But either way, this was how you can easily, for example, do some more complicated stuff. But now let's get into the next one, because we have once again another nice charge. So first I thought about let's charge from the top side, but we're not going to do that today. Let's try to charge them from the bottom side. And what we're doing there first is obviously funneling once again. To be honest, I'm going to mess that up, so let's concentrate not on the funneling part, because I completely misdropped my king, so my king is going to walk with my queen to the top side, which is not planned, and I don't even know why I dropped my king there, not just the baby dragon, but hey, sometimes I concentrate on wrong things on my videos, and this one I just concentrate like non-stop on the wall breaks, so I can show you guys some nice wall breaks, but it was, yeah, let's leave it like this, and let's get back to the wall breaks, maybe that's better. So now my queen was taking some damage, so I was able to drop the healers. Everything is perfect so far. And to wall break into the first compartment, I needed to make sure that the expo compartment is empty. So the next wall break is pretty straightforward, just into the into the enemy royal champion building. And now I want to wall break into the multi-inferno tower. And this one is kind of tricky because I need to wait. I need to clear the scatter shot, and with clearing out the scatter shot, I can wall break into the multi-inferno tower. But why exactly is this working? Why is the wall break not going for the left wall where the cannon is standing in? There's a huge dead zone, like there's no building touching the wall where this P.E.K.K.A statue is. So that's why the wall break was going different. The next wall break, I misplaced that one a little bit, so it's going for the king platform. But yeah, I think I could have wall break at the CC as well. But that's all about like placing your wall breakers correctly and everything, and knowing how exactly they're going to path. But I think that should be pretty easy for you guys now after watching this video. So I think we should jump into one last attack. We would watch the entire attack. I will show you exactly, for example, how you can beat ring bases pretty easily if you, for example, are able to use your wall breakers correctly and, for example, use your king etc. correctly. So my goal for this one my goal for this one is going to charge the town hall. So I somehow want to get my queen to the town hall. That's my goal for this attack. How do I get there? Like, how do I make this? The first thing obviously is start my queen somewhere. Then let her decide whichever way she wants to go, and then wall break her in. That's pretty straightforward, and I think especially the first wall break should be pretty easy to understand, since it's just like the first compartment, which is closed. It's a huge ring, so it's closed. Easy way. The next thing which I'm going to do is I use my king to push my queen into the correct direction, which means I will need once again another wall break. So we have only one wall breaker left. How do we use that? I want to wall break at the enemy expel. But now there's the problem. Hey, there's the queen, sorry. There's still the queen platform, which could mess up my timing and everything. But now we're getting back to, first off I tried to clear it, but then I noticed it's not working. But now we're getting back to this L-shaped compartments, which are now on the right side, which I kind of created. But since this compartment is not, or like this wall is not long enough, I can just send in my wall breaker from the right side. And the next closed compartment, which the wall breaker can see, is the core compartment, because the expo is touching that wall. And that's how we got easily into the core, which means we have access to everything. We have access to the town hall, we have access to both scatter shots, we have access to the multi-inferno towers, we have access to the eagle and everything on. So after this one, it's really hard to mess up this Lalo. I mean, I tried my best to somehow mess this up, but still my queen is being able to reach everything from the expo to the inferno tower to the eagle and so on. So this queen charge overall was really nice. And this is how you can easily wreck bases if you know on how to actually use those wall breakers. The wall breakers are pretty key and a really underrated troop in the game, but if you can master those, you will become the master of Clash in a certain way as well. Wall breakers are so useful in so many ways. In pretty much any strategy you can somehow use a couple of wall breakers. And if you know and if you understand how wall breakers work, that's even better for you and your future Clash attacks. So I hope I was able to teach you exactly how those wall breakers work. I was maybe able to show you a couple of things which you haven't known already. And well, if you guys have any more questions, let me know down below in the comments so I can try to answer those as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow. Until then, see ya and bye bye.